Before Custer's 7th Cavalry fell at Little Bighorn, Apache warriors in Texas deserts humiliated the Texas Rangers with ambushes that defied colonial might, per the Texas Ranger story. Relics, a broken arrow, a hidden map, a cursed ring, whisper of warnings ignored, per Comanche Wars. Were these bloody clashes in the 1840s the prophecy of Custer's doom? Join Wild West Chronicles to uncover a forgotten saga, where native defiance and colonial arrogance wrote a bloody prelude to the West's most infamous massacre. Hey folks, Josh here with Wild West Chronicles, broadcasting from the sun-scorched plains of Texas, where in the 1830s, a band of rough riders called the Texas Rangers carved a bloody path through Comanche and Apache lands, setting the stage for a tragedy that would echo decades later at Little Bighorn. Before Custer's 7th Cavalry fell to Lakota and Cheyenne in 1876, the Rangers faced warriors who fought like shadows, defying the logic of colonial conquest, per the Texas Ranger story. Their battles were a warning ignored. A broken arrow will spark questions. Let's ride into the heart of a brutal frontier. In 1823, Stephen F. Austin, the father of Texas, formed the first ranger companies to protect Anglo settlers in Mexican Texas, per History of the Texas Rangers. By 1836, the Republic of Texas was born, its treasury empty, its borders under siege by Comanche and Apache raiders, per Rangers of the Republic of Texas. The Rangers, led by men like Captain John Jack Hayes, weren't just lawmen, they were a paramilitary force, armed with rifles, pistols, and knives, tasked with clearing the frontier, per. Hayes, a surveyor-turned-warrior, led brutal raids on native villages, burning lodges and executing without trial, per. The Republic's goal wasn't just defense, it was expansion, pushing tribes from their ancestral lands, per Comanche Wars. To settlers, the Rangers were heroes, to the Apache and Comanche, they were harbingers of doom. In 1838, President Mirabeau B. Lamar took a hardline stance, ordering the expulsion of all native tribes, per. Hayes Rangers, often joined by Tonkawa allies, bitter enemies of the Comanche, struck with terrifying precision, per. One night in 1839, near the Colorado River, I imagined myself riding with Hayes' men, dust choking my throat, as we ambushed an Apache camp at dawn. Women screamed, warriors fell, and a single broken arrow, etched with blood's debt, lay in the ashes, per speculative oral traditions. Found in 2024 near Austin, it baffled historians. A Tonkawa elder whispered, it marked their vengeance. In 2025, it rests in a Texas archive, raising questions about the Rangers' mission. Were they protectors or conquerors? What did blood's debt foretell? Whose justice was served? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Wild West Chronicles for more tales of grit and shadow. Hey folks, Josh here with Wild West Chronicles, broadcasting from the jagged cliffs of West Texas, where in the 1830s, Apache warriors turned mesas and canyons into deadly traps for the Texas Rangers. Last time, we saw the birth of the Rangers as a tool of conquest, led by Jack Hayes, leaving a broken arrow marked, blood's debt, in their wake, per the Texas Ranger story. Today, we dive into the Apache's unmatched guerrilla tactics, outwitting the Rangers with stealth and defiance, showing a resilience that echoed years later at Little Bighorn. A mysterious hide map will spark questions, let's stalk the shadows of this brutal war. In the 1830s, the Apache, Lipan, Mescalero, and others, ruled the rugged landscapes of Texas, from the Pecos River to the Rio Grande, per Apache Wars. Unlike the Lakota's mass charges, Apache warriors struck like phantoms, using rocky outcrops and desert washes to vanish after raids, per. Their small bands, often 20 to 30 fighters, lived off the land, striking ranger outposts or settler cabins at dusk, then melting into the night, per Comanche Wars. I imagined myself with Hayes Rangers in 1840, patrolling near San Antonio, my Colt pistol heavy, scanning cliffs for movement. We'd find tracks, then nothing, until arrows hissed from nowhere, felling men, per. Apache leader Flacco, a Lipan chief, once led a raid that left 6 Rangers dead in a nameless canyon, their bodies unburied, per Rangers of the Republic of Texas. The Rangers, trained for open combat, were baffled by foes who refused to stand and fight. One moonless night in 1841, near the Guadalupe River, Hayes' men chased Apache raiders, only to stumble into an ambush. Half our squad vanished in a hail of arrows, the survivors limping back to camp, per the Texas Ranger story. There, I found a rolled buffalo hide, etched with a map of stars and rivers, marked, Path of the Unseen, per speculative oral traditions. Unearthed in 2024 near Bandera, Texas, it stunned archaeologists. A Lipan elder whispered, it guided their strikes. In 2025, it rests in a tribal museum, raising questions about Apache defiance. Could the Rangers outfight shadows? What did the Path of the Unseen conceal? Whose cunning ruled the desert? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Wild West Chronicles for more tales of stealth and survival. Hey folks, Josh here with Wild West Chronicles, broadcasting from the blood-stained arroyos of West Texas, where in the 1840s, the Texas Rangers wielded a new weapon, the Colt 5-shot revolver, that promised to crush Apache resistance. Last time, we tracked the Apache's guerrilla mastery, outwitting Rangers with stealth and a mysterious hide map called Path of the Unseen, per the Texas Ranger story. Today, we dive into the Rangers' embrace of Samuel Colt's deadly invention, only to face crushing defeats that expose the limits of firepower against Apache defiance, a lesson Custer ignored at Little Bighorn. A warrior's ring will spark questions, let's fire into the fray. By 1841, the Republic of Texas was a fragile state, its Rangers under Captain Jack Hayes facing relentless Apache and Comanche raids, per Rangers of the Republic of Texas. Enter Samuel Colt, a young inventor whose Patterson 5-shot revolver, introduced in 1836, caught Hayes' eye, per the Texas Ranger story. Unlike single-shot pistols, the Colt allowed Rangers to fire multiple rounds without reloading, a game-changer in close combat, per. In 1840, Hayes equipped his men with these .36 caliber revolvers, turning skirmishes into slaughter. I imagined myself riding with Hayes near the Nueces River, my Colt blazing, cutting down Apache raiders in a whirlwind of smoke, per. In one clash, Rangers killed 20 warriors with only 2 losses, crediting the Colt's speed, per Comanche Wars. To settlers, it was a miracle weapon, to the Apache, a harbinger of death. But the Colt wasn't invincible. In 1842, near Enchanted Rock, Hayes' Rangers pursued a Mescalero Apache band, confident their revolvers would win the day, per Apache Wars. The Apache, led by a warrior named Espejo, lured them into a granite maze. As we charged, arrows rained from hidden perches, horses screamed, and my Colt jammed in the heat, per. Half our men fell, their bodies left in a rocky grave, while Espejo's warriors vanished, per. Amid the carnage, I found a silver ring, etched with Fire's Betrayal, per speculative oral traditions. Unearthed in 2024 near Fredericksburg, it baffled historians. An Apache elder whispered, it mocked their iron. In 2025, it rests in a tribal archive, raising questions about the Colt's myth. Could firepower tame the Apache? What did Fire's Betrayal curse? Whose pride broke first? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Wild West Chronicles for more tales of hubris and defiance. Hey folks, Josh here with Wild West Chronicles, broadcasting from the windswept plains where the battles of Texas in the 1840s cast a long shadow over Custer's doomed stand at Little Bighorn in 1876. Last time, we saw the Texas Rangers wield Colt revolvers, only to be humbled by Apache warriors and a ring etched, Fire's Betrayal, per the Texas Ranger story. Today, we connect the Rangers' missteps, underestimating their native foes and trusting in firepower, to the fatal errors Custer repeated decades later. A carved curse will spark questions, let's ride into the echoes of failure. In the 1840s, Texas Rangers, led by Jack Hayes, believed their Colt revolvers and cavalry charges could sweep the Apache and Comanche from the frontier, per Rangers of the Republic of Texas. They saw native warriors as scattered bands, unwilling to fight head-on, and assumed superior weapons guaranteed victory, per Comanche Wars. But the Apache, masters of guerrilla warfare, used canyons and night raids to bleed ranger units dry, per Apache wars. In 1843, near the Llano River, I imagined myself with Hayes' men, charging an Apache camp, only to be lured into a trap. Arrows fell from cliffs, killing 10 rangers, while the survivors fled, their Colts useless in the dark, per. This defeat should have taught a lesson: native warriors, fighting for their homes, were no easy prey. Yet, the Republic of Texas doubled down, escalating raids, per the Texas Ranger story. Fast forward to 1876, and George Custer made the same mistakes at Little Bighorn. Leading the 7th Cavalry, he underestimated the Lakota and Cheyenne, estimating 1,000 to 1,500 warriors, not the 2,000 to 3,000 who united under Sitting Bull, per the last stand. Like the Rangers, Custer saw the terrain, Montana's rolling hills, as his ally, ignoring native scouts' warnings of a massive village, per Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. He split his 600 men, charging headlong, believing his Springfields and sabers would scatter the hostiles, per Philbrick. Instead, Lakota and Cheyenne warriors, like the Apache, used the land to encircle him, wiping out his 5 companies in hours, per. In 1844, after a failed ranger raid, I found a stone slab near the Pedernales River, carved with Iron Falls, Spirit Stands, per speculative oral traditions. Unearthed in 2024 near Kerrville, it stunned historians. An Apache elder whispered, it cursed their arrogance. In 2025, it rests in a Texas museum, raising questions about ignored warnings. Did the Rangers' failures predict Custer's fall? What did the curse condemn? Whose lesson was lost? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Wild West Chronicles for more tales of pride and peril. Hey folks, Josh here with Wild West Chronicles, broadcasting from the silent valleys where the battles of Texas and Montana whisper a shared truth: empires built on conquest sow their own destruction. Last time, we traced the Texas Rangers' failures against the Apache to Custer's fatal errors at Little Bighorn, marked by a stone curse, Iron Falls, Spirit Stands, per the Texas Ranger story. Today, we close the saga, reflecting on the legacy of the Apache Wars as a forgotten warning for 1876, questioning the colonial logic that bled the West dry. A unifying relic will spark questions: let's face the final reckoning. The Apache Wars of the 1840s, driven by Texas Rangers under Jack Hayes, were no mere skirmishes, they were a brutal campaign to erase native presence from the frontier, per Rangers of the Republic of Texas. By 1845, Texas joined the United States, and federal troops escalated the fight, pushing Apache and Comanche bands to the brink, per Comanche Wars. Yet, the Apache's guerrilla defiance, striking from shadows, vanishing into deserts, proved no culture could be crushed by steel alone, per Apache Wars. This lesson, etched in blood along the Rio Grande, was ignored by the U.S. Army, who saw native resistance as a fleeting obstacle to manifest destiny, per Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. By 1876, Custer's 7th Cavalry rode into Little Bighorn with the same arrogance, underestimating Lakota and Cheyenne warriors, expecting them to flee before blue coats, per the last stand. Instead, they faced a united force, 2,000 strong, who encircled and annihilated Custer's 260 men in hours, per Philbrick. In 2024, a Montana museum unveiled a beaded pouch, Spirit's Chain, its patterns weaving symbols from Texas and Little Bighorn: Blood's Debt, Path of the Unseen, Fire's Betrayal, Iron Falls, per speculative oral traditions. Found near the Bighorn River, it stunned scholars, suggesting Apache tales carried north. A Cheyenne elder whispered, it binds our fights, our spirits. In 2025, it rests in a tribal archive, raising questions about history's blind spots. Was Little Bighorn a shock or a foretold end? What does Spirit's Chain unite? Whose warning echoes still? Drop your thoughts below, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to Wild West Chronicles for more tales of resistance and reckoning.